This lesson will deal with Daniel Defoe, commonly regarded as the father of the English novel. He was generally considered as the father of the English novel because he was the very first representative of a new way of interpreting life in relationship to literature and to fiction. Daniel Defoe was born in 1660 into a family of dissenters, that is to say, a religious sect which did not acknowledge the authority of the Church of England. He attended a dissenting academy where he studied practical subjects together with the traditional ones, that is to say, modern languages, economics, and geography. His father wanted a religious career for Daniel, but he actually decided to start as an apprentice and soon to become a businessman on his own. His financial difficulties brought him to front 2 different bankruptcies, which he was able to front both with legal and illicit means. And at the time of Queen Anne's reign, he was even arrested, tried, and imprisoned. He also started working as a journalist on the side of the Whig Party, especially in the Reviewer, which was a periodical published 3 times a week from 1704 to 1713. He became soon famous as an intellectual and also well paid. But Queen Anne did not like his criticism and his critical attitude, especially towards her reign. That's why he was arrested, imprisoned, and also condemned to pillory. The only way to get freedom for Daniel Defoe was to deny his ideals, and from that moment on, he became a secret agent for the new government. He was nearly 60 when he devoted himself to writing novels, and in 1719 he published Robinson Crusoe, soon followed by Captain Singleton, and in 1722 by Moll Flanders, talking about the adventures of a woman who was born in Newgate prison in London, but who was then able to become rich and powerful in London. Also, Colonel Jack and Lady Roxana belong to the most famous novels written by Daniel Defoe. Lady Roxana, in particular, deals with the adventures of a high society woman who exploits her beauty to obtain what she wants to. As we have already said in the introduction, Daniel Defoe is generally regarded as the father of the English novel. Indeed, Defoe can be considered as the representative of a new social class and also of a completely new way of writing and telling stories about one only main character. His narrative technique was original, and from this moment on, this was the basis for the development of the realistic novels in the future. His novels are generally considered and defined as fictional autobiographies. That is to say, they pretend to be true stories thanks to biographical details and memories provided by the protagonist himself. All the novels by Daniel Defoe are usually preceded by an introduction which has the role to reinforce the idea that the story is authentical, and authentical also the figure of the main character, the single hero. The plot is not always very coherent, and that is because Daniel Defoe did not usually plan his work from the very beginning to the very end, nor he was able to revise the novel before publishing it. Defoe used a retrospective first-person narration, that is to say, the point of view is that of the main character, which tells his story from the point of view of a present time, telling about his past events. Usually, the author's points of view in all the novels by Defoe coincides with the main characters. All the characters in Daniel Defoe are presented from the inside. They are usually presented through what they say, through what they do, instead of from the outside by the character himself. Most of the characters in Daniel Defoe appear in a condition of isolation, either physically, like in Robinson Crusoe, who is shipwrecked, or socially, like in the case of Moll Flanders, who, after living and being born in prison, struggles to finally realize herself as a powerful and rich woman.